Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Introduction to the Brick by Brick Programme webinar. My name is Abi Dodson, and it's lovely to welcome so many of you. It's going to take a while to let everybody into the lobby, so from the lobby, my colleague Jane is working her magic, letting everybody in, and she's also going to be supporting me and managing the chat today. So huge thanks to Jane. While we're getting everybody set up, if you want to pop a note in the chat and let us know where you're joining us from. It's always great to find out where people are connecting with us, whether you're in the UK or whether you're overseas. It's always wonderful to meet people who are interested in finding out more about the Brick by Brick programme. So we'll just give everybody a minute or so to join in. Oh, hi, Helen in Cambridgeshire. We've got somebody in Falkirk. Oh, Sheffield, that's my old stomping ground. Somebody from Sri Lanka. Wow, what time is it in Sri Lanka? Well, we've got loads of people joining. This is wonderful. This is what makes our hearts sing when we see so many people wanting to find out more about what we do. So just going to give everybody a chance to join us. While everybody's joining us, I'll just have a quick chat through just to things that might be of help to everybody in terms of housekeeping. So if you're listening on a tablet or on a mobile phone, we often recommend using headphones because it just gives you a better clarity of sound. Obviously, I've got my headset on to try and help as well today. As I've already said, the wonderful Jane is going to be helping me with the chat. So at any time through the presentation, so I'm going to be doing a presentation that will last about 20 minutes. You don't need to save your questions up. Jane will be looking after those for me in the chat. So at any point, if you've got a question, just pop it in the chat. And then when we get towards the end of the session, then we'll go through any questions that anybody's got. We are recording the webinar. Obviously, we do get a lot of people signing up, and we appreciate that it doesn't always connect with your working hours or your waking hours, depending on where you're joining us from. So we will be sending out a recording of this webinar out to everybody in the next couple of days. Obviously, because it is a webinar, your faces are on screen and we can't hear you either. So hopefully you're either having a cup of tea or chatting with some colleagues, or you might be even in your pajamas listening to us if you're somewhere like Australia. So just sit back, relax, and just join in with the chat. And the last thing is that the wonderful Jane will be helping me out just by doing a few polls on screen. So hopefully when those come up, you should be able to connect with us quite easily. If you can't and you want to just tell us your answer in the chat, you can type it in there. But I think that pretty much covers everything in terms of where we're starting from. So we've got people from Ireland joining us. We've got Zoe in Manchester. Oh, somebody's got coffee ready, got a cover for the class that they should be teaching. Excellent. I'm sure a lot of the others on the call will be wanting to know what your secret is. Okay, so let's get started. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you through an overview of, first of all, who we are at Play Included, and tell you a little bit more about us, and then focus on the Brick by Brick programme, which is why we're all here, and then we'll take your questions. So Jane, if you, I know in the midst of still letting people in through the lobby, if you wouldn't mind just setting up the quick poll for us, it just helps me to gauge the level of understanding in the audience. But what we always do is start with a quick poll just to find out whether people have run brick clubs before. So hopefully if Jane can launch that for us. Jane, if you can just let me know that that's going on, that would be great.
That should be up and running now.
That's fantastic. That's the wonderful voice of Jane, my colleague. So you should be able to see your poll now. And if you can just respond to that, and it just gives me an idea as to where we're getting. So are you currently running a brick club? Yes or no? That's all we're wanting to find out. I'll just give you another second or so to respond to that. Fantastic. So it looks like we've got quite a few responses there. That's wonderful. Thanks, everybody. We've got 75% of people saying that they haven't run a brick club before at the moment, and 23% say they have. So that's a good mix, and it just gives me an idea of where we need to be at for that for the rest of the session. So that's fantastic. Thanks for that, Jane. So a little bit of an introduction to who we are. Play Included, CIC, we're a community interest company, and we were originally founded in 2018 by Dr. Gina Gomez de la Cuesta. We were previously Bricks for Autism, but over the years, what we've realised is that the things that we can offer, particularly through the Brick-by-Brick programme, aren't just suitable for autistic children, but could be suitable for all children, and that's why we decided to call ourselves Play Included instead. And since 2020, we're delighted to say that we are supported by the Lego Foundation, and we've worked with them and other global partners like the 100. As you can see there, we're actually being selected for their global collection, and it's always a useful organisation for you to connect with to find out more about innovations in education and learning to support young children across the world. So what do we actually do then? I guess we've got three key components at the moment in terms of what we offer. So the first two that you can see on this slide, both the play at home activities and building friendships, are free. They're free resources that you can find on our website. And we'll send you links to these in the email we send you with the webinar recording in the next couple of days. I've been heavily involved in developing the play at home activities, and really these are to try to help parents with neurodivergent children to connect with each other in affirming ways, so that everybody can have fun. There are lots of great activities there, and we find they're very useful actually as baseline activities as well for when you run your brick clubs. In terms of building friendships, well, this was really our response to COVID-19. Obviously, a lot of research is still being done into the impact that it's had, but I think anecdotally we all recognise that there's been a significant shift in the ability for children to connect with existing friendships, but also to make new friendships as a result of the lockdowns and everything that happened there. So this was our response, and Dr. Eleanor Brett, who is our other director here at Play Included, created these. These are full whole class activities, and all you basically need is your random box of bricks that you normally have in your classroom. These are perfectly designed for what you need to be building. I'm just seeing, sorry that somebody isn't able to see the presentation. I hope that's not an issue for everybody, but we will be sending it out to you, so don't worry, you will be able to see it and watch it back. So yes, as I was saying, the building friendships is very much, you can do them as carousel activities. So you might have different zones set up in a classroom, or you could do whole class, everybody doing the same activity. And we've done that so that there are two levels within that. There are primary school activities and secondary school, but in each case they can be adapted to suit the strengths and the needs of the children who are involved in the activities. So those are the two free resources really to sort of signpost you to. But the rest of the session, I'm just going to focus purely on the Brick-by-Brick programme and telling you a bit more about how that works. So basically, the Lego based therapy, I think it's something that a lot of people have heard about, but in terms of how we're concerned with it, we see this as the latest development in Lego based therapy, and through our work with our colleagues and partners at the Lego Foundation, we've been able to incorporate the learning through play theory that they've developed, and really focus on creating a group program that's designed to support neurodivergent and all young people, giving them real opportunities for meaningful, positive social experiences. And as part of that, helping them to develop friendships, but also to create a sense of belonging, um, in a safe space that's going to allow them the space to exercise as many of their social, emotional, and communication skills as they want to. And as far as we're concerned, the children just know it as Brick Club. As far as we're concerned, the whole purpose of this is about having fun and playing with Lego, enjoying spending time together, building in small teams, and giving them the confidence to do that, and expand their love and joy of the Lego bricks as well. So hopefully this video is going to play for you. We want to always try and use the voices of the children who are involved in the program, and very kindly during lockdown we had some wonderful children get involved in New Zealand, to tell us a bit more about the Brick-by-Brick program and how they see it. So I'm going to play this now for you, and again, if for any reason it doesn't work for you, we will be sending you the link for it.
I'm Andy, and I am a boy who came from Vietnam.
I am Ben for short, and my full name is Benjamin. And this is my mum, Alison.
My name is Thomas, and I am 10 years old.
How long I've been to Brick Club is quite some months ago, and I like Brick Club because when I first got into Brick Club, I met a person, and I was very surprised that the person came from Vietnam. It's Dr. Camilla.
I started Brick Club the day it started, so I started it because my mum thought it would be a good idea to help me be more social with other people that I might not know.
The point of Brick Club is you build and play, but it's also like developing your collaborative skills and teamwork.
I like Lego because Lego's way too good. Why it's good fun? Because they can build up your imagination, and it's good because it can make your hands more handier.
When I'm at Brick Club, everyone is different, so it helps when like stress or like anxiety, and obviously autism, because I can actually learn the proper way of talking to other people. Autism has been like slowly gotten better and elevated my social interactions elevated since I've been there. It didn't happen straight away. It built up until now. So basically, the part that makes us learn is because we build together, and that basic not forces us, but pretty much forces us to like be more social with each other in a good way.
It's better than building by yourself because you can like help your teammates, and you can like describe what bricks you need. So it's also like developing language and things like that.
The other good things with Lego is because we can build many models such as vehicles. It can build imagination on your head.
I was into Lego a little bit, but now that I've come to Brick Club, I like Lego a lot more because I realised how fun it was. I've definitely made lots of friends with everyone that goes to Brick Club, and it's helped me make more friends outside of Brick Club in school. Like, I've been more social, and I have been being social the right way, not copying what I think someone else is doing. And I made lots of friends in Brick Club, and that's really helped my social side of things.
Coming to Brick Club is the best.
You should go and try it out. It's so fun.
Oh, we absolutely love that video. Apologies that some of you couldn't hear the sound on that, but as I said, we will be sending you the link for it, so you will be able to look back on it, and it is something that really reinforces the passion for us as for why we do this. The whole intention behind this, as this slide says, is that it's a very flexible, adaptable program. I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what Lego-based therapy should and shouldn't be, and I think for us it's really about getting the right mixture of creativity and structure for the children. So it's very much about we give you a program that helps and gives you that structure, but then you can adapt it and make it as flexible as possible to suit the needs of the children that you're working with. So you know, you can look at whether you use Lego or Duplo, whether you use Technic. It's whatever is required for the children, but also in terms of support materials. So if you have children that are non-verbal, there are language support cards and things like that. So there's lots of other extra resources that you get as part of your membership with us. It's very much for you in the room as the facilitator to really focus on playful facilitation, and this is really where we bring in the learning through play methodology that we've worked on with our colleagues at the Lego Foundation. And it's really then about giving them giving the children then that framework and that safe space where they can connect with other children and go, hey, you're like me, or oh, I like the way you build those Lego bricks. That's really cool. I want to find out more. And it's those natural conversations that are going to start between the children using the Lego, and that joint community feeling and sense of belonging that it gives the children. And that's really what we're trying to do. So how is play included? It's Brick-by-Brick program different? Well, from our point of view, it's the most up-to-date thinking on Lego-based therapy, and ours is based on the findings from research, not only carried out internally, but looking historically at all the research and reviews that have been carried out since Dan Legoff first incepted this. And some of you may have been fortunate enough to join us yesterday to listen to Dan talking about it, and he really sort of started this back in the late 1990s, even though the research that he developed didn't come out till the early 2000s. We've redesigned it in collaboration, as I say, with learning through play experts at the foundation, but also with autistic consultants and with leading academics. And we've trialed it with children, and we've got their voices, and we're constantly looking to develop what we do and to listen to the children's voices, and so that we can create as many neurodiverse affirming clubs as we can for children out there. So a little bit of the science bit. This is the evidence base. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, and again, these are all pieces of research that are freely available on the internet, but the research did really start obviously with Dr. Dan Legoff and our own Gina Gomez de la Cuesta as part of her PhD. But there are other pieces of research that have been done, and majority of them have been very small scale research, so with 1 or 2 children, but that they have shown that there is positive evidence to show that this approach works. So what we've done then is we've got involved in some other parts of research, and the largest piece of research that's been done to date has been the iSocialize trial. And this has been the largest scale randomized control research that has been carried out to date in this area. It took place a couple of years ago in the UK with 240 children attending mainstream schools who had a diagnosis of autism. And we were comparing the Lego-based program to usual support that they would be receive either in school or as additional support. And we were looking to find out, is it cost effective, and how can we develop this? And as you can see there, we certainly found that there were high levels of acceptability, both from the children, the teachers who were delivering it, and from the parents as well. And possibly most important for a lot of schools is that it showed that it was cost effective by comparison to other interventions that you might come across. And it did show a small positive effect for the children as a result of attending the programme. And this was just done over a short period of 12 weeks. We've also had some independent evaluation done by at Autism. They reached out to many organisations across the world that we've worked with in the past, and we've delivered training to for them to run their own brick clubs. And these were some of the comments that have come back from other facilitators in terms of the outcomes that they've seen. And probably the most important one there is that children have fun and they're motivated and excited and they feel engaged. And I think this is the key for us, is that children are coming to Brick Club because they have this joy and love of building with Lego. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to stifle that. We want to encourage that, embrace it, and help that to create that sense of belonging and this nurturing environment that we want children to feel part of. Brick clubs, it also said, help children to make friends, feel more confident, feel less anxious, and make more of their own decisions. And again, this is very much what our programme is about. It's about being child-led and allowing the children the space and the time to solve any challenges they come across together, with us as the facilitator in the room, just supporting that rather than leading it. It also said that Brick clubs can help families meet other families with similar experiences and help families learn about autism in a positive light. And that's certainly been the experience that I've had, because often you find that the friendships start in the Brick clubs, but then they can develop into more of a supportive community outside of that, not just for the children, but also for their families, which is an extra positive that is always going to be welcomed. But most importantly, here are some of the voices from some of the children and some facilitators. And I think certainly the one when I'm usually delivering this with Gina, who she's sorry she can't be here today, but we're incredibly busy here. We're a small team and there's a lot going on at the moment. And I think she would say that her favourite one is probably Isaac's in the middle there. Me gusta más que la tablet. You have to excuse my pronunciation, but it basically means I like this more than my tablet. And I don't think there's a higher piece of praise that you can get from a child if they prefer coming to Brick Club instead of being sat on their tablet. So I think that's pretty incredible, really. And we just like to give you some examples of real life experiences. So I hope that's just added to the experience for you. But for us, training and playful facilitation is the key. I think we need, as adults in the room, to be hugely aware of what we're actually doing and the impact that we can have on the children and the experience that the children have. And certainly what I've found as a facilitator is sometimes the most powerful thing is to sit and do nothing and just observe what the children are doing and let it flow. And you need to just be getting more involved if they need some support, but that's to support them, not to lead them through an activity. And if there's a brick missing, saying don't worry, I'll go and get it. It's to let the children work through those problems together and those challenges together. So in terms of what we do here at Play Included, there are a series of training levels through the pathway that you can access. So we start with level 1, which is the initiate level, and that is our online learning. And I'll go into that in a bit more detail in a moment. Level 2, we highly recommend, because this is where you get to have a full day experiential face-to-face learning what it's like to be the child, learning what it's like to experience facilitating a Brick Club and really testing out your skills and challenging yourself and your own your own perceptions of your position in the room. So they're really key. The specialist level, level 3, is going to be coming very soon, and this is where we really want to be able to connect with other professionals throughout the world, to be able to share knowledge and experience with our members, and to be able to develop our skills using peer support in that way. There's also level 4 where you can become a trainer. And finally, level 4B, which is our mentoring program, which we're hoping to launch relatively soon. But again, that's still in development at this stage. So level 1, this is where you'll start your journey, and this is our online learning, and we've had a lot of really positive feedback about this. I know during lockdown and everything went to online, and I've been there and I've done some really dry training, but the response we get from ours is that expectations are exceeded by 95% of the people who attended them, and 95% would highly recommend the course to others, which for us is fantastic. It says there 6 to 8 hours. That's roughly how long it will take you. It's really interactive. There's videos, there's content for you to get involved in, there's play activities for you to have a go at with your family or with colleagues. There's lots really to be able to get your hands on, and this will allow you to start running brick clubs in your own setting, and get yourself up and running. But as I've already said, we really do recommend attending the level 2, which really builds on what you've done in the level 1 program. And as James quite rightly pointed, we've also got a taster for level 1, which is a free course, which just gives you one module to have a look at, gives you more idea about how it's going to feel when you're actually taking part in the learning. But you can see there, you're going to become a recognised brick-by-brick facilitator, which means that you will be registered on our new portal, which we're just getting towards the end of our design phase on that. So people will be able to find your brick club and know that you are a registered facilitator with us. 93% of people said they are very likely to recommend it to others. And I think Alistair's comment there at the bottom, it was so much fun to experience participating in Brick Club and taking the child's perspective. And I think that really is the key for us. It's about putting yourself in the shoes of the children and really understanding how it feels and the emotions behind taking part in a Brick Club, and how it feels, so that it informs your facilitation style, and particularly your playful facilitation skills. There are a lot of high quality resources that you get as part of this, and as it says on this slide, at the moment they're already in Danish, for obvious reasons, with our colleagues in Denmark from Lego. It's already in Spanish, Chinese and Swahili, and all these resources are included in your Play Included membership, which means that everything that you need to start delivering your high level quality club, it's already going to be there, and your first year's membership is actually included in the price when you sign up for your Initiate course with us. It also allows you access to free webinars, and we do drop-in sessions, which talks about as Q&A sessions there, but every month we have open Q&A drop-in sessions for facilitators, just for peer support. It's a very relaxed, informal process. You can come along, share ideas, share with each other, and possibly if you've come across a tricky situation in your club and you want to find out if somebody else has come across it. And also we have our online community of practice on Facebook, where we encourage everybody to sign up and communicate with each other there as well. So that's about where I stop, really. I appreciate I've been talking for quite a while there, so thanks ever so much for your patience and listening. If you've got any questions about the programme, you want to start typing those in, that would be absolutely amazing. As a thank you for attending our session today, we are offering you a 20% discount off your training. It's if you use the code webinar20 before the 30th of November, then you can get a discount on your training. The costs on that, Jane, would you mind just typing in the costs for people into the chat for me? Because I don't want to give everybody the wrong costs for that. Obviously, you've got your separate costs for your online learning and for your face-to-face workshops as well. But yeah, if anybody has got any questions about anything you've heard, or anything about misconceptions that you've got on Lego based therapy, I guess there are a lot of myths out there about what it is and what it isn't, and we're always happy to dispel some of those. So yeah, where is the level 2 training? Great question. At the moment, level 2 training is mainly done in the UK, but I'm pleased to say now we're working with some colleagues called Learning Links in Australia, and so that they are now delivering level 2 for us. We also have level 2 courses over in Hong Kong as well, and we're also hoping to be offering level 2 courses in other parts of the world very soon, so watch this space. But you can find all the dates for our current level 2 workshops are all on our website. If you go to the training page, you'll be able to see all of those. Let's see what other questions we've got, Jane, that are coming through. Oh, right, Mandy, what's your question? Is the programme appropriate for under 5s, or can it be adapted? Really good question, Mandy. I personally have done it with children sort of age 4 to 5, so transitioning from nursery to reception, and found it worked really well working with Duplo. We're wanting to do a lot more research into this into this area and really developing early years stuff. So yes, it can be adapted. What I would say is with the younger children, there's a lot more adult support necessary. So for example, when I started doing it, I had maybe 2 or 3 children with me as the facilitator, but they each had their own adult supporting them. And gradually over the weeks, those adults sat back from the children, and eventually one of them left the room. But then what we were able to do is we were only doing small builds, like we had some cafe sets, so we were building ice creams or cakes and things like that in Duplo. But what we were then doing was we were taking it back into the nursery and doing role play, and they were creating little menus for us and doing role play of having a bakery or an ice cream stall, all these types of things. So it's I guess what I'm saying is, Mandy, that there's not a lot out there in terms of research to say whether it does or doesn't work, but anecdotally I would certainly say it's something that is worth giving a go with younger children. Absolutely. That's a great question. Where's the next question, Jane? That's from Sam. Do you get any Lego with the training? We don't have discounts or anything like that with Lego. I know we're partnered with the Lego Foundation, so unfortunately there's no Lego that comes with the training. But what we do is we try to give people an insight into the types of Lego kits you might need. You know, you need to start off small sets, because ultimately what we're wanting to do is to give children a real sense of achievement early on in club, so that they've actually completed something. But we go through freestyle bricks and what you need there. We talk about storage. We talk about, you know, making it portable if you're going to be moving from setting to setting. So we go through all those, but you don't get any Lego actually with the training. But that's a great question to ask. Okay, where's the next question coming from, Jane? Let's have a look. What does, oh, here we go. are there sample resources available to look at before investing in all of it? Do you know what I would recommend is that you look at the Play at Home and the Building Friendships resources. They are completely free. You can just go to our website now. Jane, if you wouldn't mind just putting a link in the chat to our website and possibly directly to the resources pages, and people just can go there and have a look at them. Particularly the Play at Home are great when we're starting to introduce children to the kind of activities we're going to do at Brick Club, but also the Building Friendships are brilliant as a way of looking at larger group based activities. So I would highly recommend you looking at those resources first. And if you had any more questions once you've looked at them, then please just do reach out to us. You can email us at any time. I'll just put the code back up and you can see the email address, hello@playincluded.com. Feel free at any time. We're more than happy to answer any questions that anybody's got. Let's have a look, see what else we've got. How long does level 1 course last, and will you be able to access a recording of this course if we pay for it? Yeah, great question. The level 1 course, basically it's open for as long as you need it to be open for at the moment. It's likely that we will over time sort of give a more structured and say, right, you've got 3 months to do it or something like that. But what we do provide afterwards is you get a download of a series of e-booklets that contains all the learning from each of the modules contained in that, and you will be able to access those at any time so that you can go back and reflect on your learning. So you know, for us, it's very important that people have an ongoing access as a member to those sorts of resources. So yeah, absolutely. Able to access a recording of the course. I think that sort of covers that question off as well, because it's not a recording, it's just it's the e-booklets, but they do include lots of how-to videos and explainer videos, and they're all in there as well. So I hope that helps. I have several staff that I would like to train. Is there a discount for booking more than one member? Absolutely.
I've answered that. If you'd like to email hello@playincluded.com, we can help you out with that.
That's wonderful. Thanks, Jane. I knew you were on the ball. Okay, next question. I have typical 2 tubs of donated brick and wood, looking at Lego education kits and primary, secondary education. Right. What I would say for doing the Brick-by-Brick program is you do not need to look at Lego education, Lego primary, Lego secondary. All you need to look at is your standard sets that you would find in the supermarkets. So your discounted sets at the supermarkets is all you need. You do need your freestyle bricks, and that's your standard typical couple of tubs of donated bricks. Those are the freestyle bricks that children will want to build with if you're doing free play or if you're doing some freestyle building, which again we discuss in more detail in the training. But in terms of the sets, it's very much being focused about what's achievable for the children in terms of their building skills, but also what interests they've got. Something that Gina always talks about when we're delivering these is that the great thing with the Lego sets, it's got if you think about a room, it's got a very low floor, so they're easily accessible with things like we've got now Braille bricks, we've got Duplo, we've got different levels of Lego. It got high ceilings, so you can go all the way up to things like Technic, your Master Creator sets, you've got your Expert sets, you've got your coding sets, all that sort of stuff. But it's also wide walls in this room, because it covers so many different themes. So it's very much you're better with your classic kits rather than going down that route. And I think we would always recommend wait until you're starting to chat with the children who are going to be involved in the clubs to decide what you're going to buy. Otherwise you could be buying completely the wrong sets. So that's a really great question. Katie, is the key difference versus previous Lego therapy training related to the role of the adult as the facilitator of the play rather than guided or director of play? So it's more focused on upskilling the adult. That's a really good one, Katie. I think there is a lot to say in there. Yeah, absolutely. From our point of view, there's so many misconceptions out there about who can and can't see the instructions, how structured it should be, what rules you should put around it. For us, this is all about keeping the children at the centre of and it being child-led. So you're quite right. It's about us as the facilitator being as playful as possible. We don't want to suck the fun out of the Lego for the kids. We want this to be joyful. We want this to be something that they want to come to and that they feel comfortable to spend time with other like-minded people who love Lego, and that's what it's all about. So it is very much more about us as facilitators understanding our own role in the room, and about supporting the children rather than leading and directing them. So I think that's a really great point that you've made really well there, Katie. Thanks for that question. If we get any more questions coming through. I was informed then that brick groups is an intervention that is conducted before Lego therapy, i.e. block of intervention of brick by brick before a child is ready to engage in Lego therapy. Is brick by brick almost like a replacement for Lego therapy? I think first and foremost, what I would say, Niamh, is that we don't think of it as therapy. I think that's the key. We're talking about Brick Club, and it's not a replacement. It's the latest thinking on Lego-based therapy. So what we're saying is our approach is very much around playful facilitation and about being child-led. And there are a lot of different versions of Lego-based therapy out there that, as I referring back to Katie's last question, that are more focused on being directed by the adult. So we would see as the latest version of Lego-based therapy, but we don't call it therapy because it's about creating positive, neurodiverse, affirming spaces for all children to enjoy playing Lego together. I hope that helps. It's certainly not a precursor, because what we do is there's a lot of things that we do within the Brick by Brick programme. We don't see that there's a need for children to get to a next step. It's about what step is right for the children. So if they're happy and they just need to work one-on-one with an adult, then that's working. If, on the other hand, they develop through the process and they get to a point where they're doing freestyle building with 3 or 4 other kids, then that's fantastic. It's what's right for the children, and that's the key for us. Let's have a look at the next question, Linda. How often do you recommend the play sessions are run? Great question, Linda. There's no research to date that has said how many sessions you should do. Certainly I've done anywhere from doing a 12-week block, so a school term, to doing full school years. So it's very much down to the setting that you're in and what's relevant. And seeing what works for you. There are people who just run it so it's structured like that, so you do a 12-week block, but then a lot of people actually run ongoing clubs, so children graduate from them, new children join them, and it's a developing entity, if you like. So there's not really a right or wrong answer. I think what I would say is I wouldn't be doing less than 12 weeks. Would be the kind of conversations. But again, if you get involved in the programme, and particularly doing the level 2 facilitator workshop, we really dig into that in a lot more detail. So I hope that helps. I've got loads of questions, Jane. We have an ARC with only 4 students. Will the programme also work well with a small group as opposed to? Absolutely. Yeah. in fact, I often find that when I'm starting clubs, I start with smaller numbers because it's easier for me as the facilitator to be able to manage that group and work with them. And then over time, you build on it. So yes, absolutely, it will definitely work with smaller groups. Oh, it's lovely to hear from you, Alison. Thank you. I have to go, but I've a really interesting chat. That's really great. Give it a go with early years. I would definitely recommend it. Let's have a look at another question. What is effective max numbers of students in a session? I guess that is down to the strengths and the needs of the children, the amount of Lego you've got, the space you've got, and the number of facilitators you've got. So, you know, depending on the needs of the children, you may be able to do sort of 1 adult to 3, 4, 5 children, but in other settings it might be more relevant with those 5 children to have 2 adults. It's very much, again, working to the strengths and the needs of the children. There isn't really a maximum number. I mean, I know 10 or a dozen is quite a nice number, because you want to give the children enough other opportunities to work with different children, to build different sets, if they get onto freestyle building, all that kind of stuff. But it's really about using the learning that you get from the online learning and the facilitator workshop to then decide what's going to be right for your setting and adapting it to suit the needs of the children and young people that you're going to be working with. Question from Karen: can it be run as an after school club activity, or does it need to be more structured than that? No, after school club, brilliant. I know that certainly I've helped support for them to be run to set up in local libraries and things like that. As long as you've got a trained facilitator, you've got the resources, you're in a properly safeguarded setting, with everything that entails, with the relevant police checks for the adults in the room, that they are professionals that are delivering the programme. If you want to set it up as an after school club, fantastic, and it's certainly something that I'm doing. I do some in school activities, but I do some out of school activities as well. So yeah, absolutely, can definitely work that way as well. How long is a session? Good question. I'm just going to quickly come up for air and have a quick sip of water, if you bear with me. Again, there's no research to say at the moment this is the sweet spot. But from anecdotal evidence, we would say an hour is the kind of sweet spot. But again, the way that hour looks and the structure of that hour is very much down to the building ability and the strengths and needs of the children that are involved in the Brick Club. So again, you know, if you get involved in the online and the facilitator face-to-face learning, you find out a lot more about how you can make it as adaptable and flexible to suit the needs and move the different types of activities around that you're doing within that hour. Dave, should younger children play with Duplo? It's a really good question, Dave. I've worked with a local special needs school local to me here in North Yorkshire, and the teacher and the teaching assistant that I was going to work with felt really that the children should stick with Duplo, and I hedged my bets and I took in the Lego bricks, and we were amazed. The teacher and the teaching assistant were amazed to see how competent and confident they were, and these were children who were age 4, 5, 6, and they were starting to feel confident with the bricks. It's entirely up to you. I mean, what we always recommend is test it out with the kids. Have a bit of a pre-brick club session and meet the kids and find out what they like to do and see what their ability levels are, because it's really important if they need the the greater size of bricks for their dexterity levels, then use the Duplo. It works just as well as it can do with the usual Lego bricks. But again, great question. Right, have we got any more questions there? It looks like we've got lots of great comments coming out through this. So thanks ever so much, everybody, for joining us. It's been lovely to speak to you. Got a question from Lisa. Once you've done the training, what is the annual membership? We haven't got this fixed as yet, but it's likely to be around the £60 per year mark. And that will mean that you'll maintain your membership and you'll maintain your access to all the free resources that are connected with all the learning. And it means that you'll maintain all your access to all the learning materials as well. So hopefully that's helped there, Lisa. It's been wonderful to chat with so many of you. I appreciate we've run over slightly by 5 minutes or so, but thank you so much for joining us. It's been great to chat to you all, and I hope that you're going to join us on your brick by brick journey very, very soon, and have a wonderful day wherever you are. Thanks ever so much for joining us, everybody. And I'll take down the presentation now. So much for joining us. Have a great day, and we hope to see you soon, and we'll be sending out the recording to you over the next few days. Bye, everybody.